What's going on, everybody? This video, I wanted to take the time out and first say, it's been a long week. Feels good to be finally home, able to drop another video for you guys. Going into the weekend, something to marinate on, going, of course, towards next week. Throughout my time I'm making these YouTube videos, it's definitely to motivate and inspire you guys to take action on what it is that you like to do and want to do next. Hopefully it's within the realms of real estate. If so, you came to the right channel. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and let's move forward to the video. Today's video is going to be about the top 5 books that I definitely agree should be recommended for you to change your mindset into entrepreneurship. Also with getting more comfortable with understanding, the way that a lot of people think that have businesses and the things that we want to see when it comes to those marketing tactics and whatnot. How are they getting and obtaining this success that we, deem to be nice cars, a lot of money, multiple businesses, stuff like that. So within these books, definitely take heed to understand these are good reads to enjoy and kind of understand and go deep dive for your definition of some of the things. I'm gonna kind of give a synopsis of the book and what I took from it, and definitely follow up and verify for yourself, if it's a different definition for you. Book number 1 is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is technically a book about Robert Kiyosaki's upbringing and how he was exposed to 2 types of fathers. His father, who was a poor dad, and his friend's father, who was a rich dad. He took lessons from both of them as he was explaining different situations and scenarios throughout the book, and collectively made his best decision of how to move forward when he got older based off the ways they think, to test that the rich dad would give Robert Kiyosaki to kind of help him understand more about the value of money, the importance of money management, the mindset of how to make money work for you and not work for your money. The biggest thing I take away from that book is that, you don't need high income to be rich. A lot of people think rich has to do with, the amount you make. The fact that you can make money consistently is such a big thing. There's this big facade of what passive income is, but at the end of the day, as long as you can keep income coming in, and definitely if your income is at a good steady pace and your expenses are lowering, that gap is your wealth. So it doesn't really matter about how much you make, it's just the fact that you know how to make extra money consistently. And of course, as I said before, the rich make money work for them. Number 2, Never Split the Difference. This book is about a former FBI hostage negotiator. He explains what he calls the bad, mad, and the sad situations that, as we read, cause us to learn more about tactical empathy. Pretty much understand the other person's perspective, point of view. Through the negotiating process, he has a lot of factors of real life scenarios of what he went through and how it relates to us when it comes to understanding someone else's point of view. Such things as, it's not an active battle. Negotiating is a process of discovery, focused solely on what the other person has to say. When you're negotiating, a lot of times, you're trying to argue to me what you want while I'm trying to argue to you what I want. And if I'm giving you a lot of yes, Hans, yes, all right, that's what's up, sometimes you may feel like you're not being heard. So another big topic was, make the other person feel like they're being heard. Validate their emotions. Make it about the other person. Listen to them. Create enough trust and safety and assurance in what they're talking about to make a real conversation take place. Don't rush when negotiating. Take your time. Let's see if there's any other ones. Number 3, Us Against the World. This book was published November 2018. It has the authors of David and Tamela Mann. If those of you that don't know who they are, David Mann is actually known to us as an actor and gospel singer. He plays the role of Mr. Brown in the Madea plays and movies. Tamela Mann is his wife, who plays the role of Cora in the Madea plays and movies and is a gospel singer. She has one song that's really known called Take Me to the King. And David Mann, I just listened to one of the songs today, Marvelous. The book is pretty much after 30 years of marriage. David and Tamela Mann, about their stories about their first encounters, tips that keep a marriage going strong, like communication, and how they made it all these years and keep it alive, keep that spark. Now, I actually have a wife. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Rosario. We've been married, coming up October 30th will be 2 years for us. Woo, woo, woo. And, this is a good read for me because it helped me understand more about supporting one another, you know, unifying to have greater power. A lot of times, you know, social media and what, you know, society can make us do is separate, but we're actually our strongest when we unify. So it definitely helps me understand about the team mindset between me and my wife, and the vision, goal setting, and such things where I have to hold her accountable, she has to hold me accountable, and together we accomplish it. It's us against the world. David Mann talks about on the Breakfast Club interview with Tamela Mann and David Mann, where David explains there's a chapter called Knock at the Door, where after 5 years of being married to Tamela Mann, he receives a knock at the door. Guess who's at the back of the door? A constable, to tell David Mann that he has another child from another woman who is 5 years old. Now, Tamela was ready to leave David, and David literally had a conversation with her on how he really wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. And with confidence, he made and confirmed to her that it's going to be them against the world. And he uses specific words, us against the world. So therefore, from their growth with their success in, you know, production of what we've seen with all the plays and movies, and 30 years later, they came back to write a book to explain how they made it, you know, work. And the story from the book's chapters get better and better. Definitely, I know the snippets on the Breakfast Club keep you interested, so definitely check that out. Number 4 is the book Soar by T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes explains how you can take an idea of business ideas and make it soar, both knowledgeable steps and not just going into doing a business blindly. He teaches such things that relate to the aviation world, faith of Christian references he uses, but not necessarily to convince anybody to Christianity, but to help show his faith in his mindset of how he related a lot of stuff with his growth. Some of them were simple things as identify your gift. Being an entrepreneur is a mindset, not a money set. Success is a process that takes time. No such thing as failing. You're learning by trial and error. Attack the goal, devour the prey, divide the spoils. So there's one thing I want to give you guys from this book. Not necessarily from the book, but in an interview he did with Pastor Stephen Furtick, he brought up this reference of a story that was really good, and I want to share it with you. There is an old person inside of you. That's you in 30 years. Depending on you to be smart. Don't disappoint that person by being foolish through the strongest years of your life. So that way, in 30 years, when your back is out, your knees are swollen, and you can't move around, that's not the time to be going out and going to get it, going and attacking your goals and going to go finally take control of your actions. This is a time now to be taking control of your actions. The 30-year-old person that's living inside of you is depending on you to make the smart moves. So do it. Do it now. Before your back gives out, your feet gives out, your neck gives out, any of your muscles, the aches and pains. That's not the time to be finally taking your steps into success. Do it now. Do it now. Change that mindset. So that was Soar by T.D. Jakes. And the final one, You're in Charge, Now What? James Citron and Thomas Neff. They explained through other CEOs' eyelids and points of view an 8-point plan process that they came up with of how to make those 100 days count. Such things to take away from that book is learn the lay of the land, how things really work around here. We can go into workspaces sometimes, and even in the military, I go into work centers brand new, and I can't just come in and make up new rules as a supervisor. I have to kind of learn how things are going, talk to some of the other coworkers, and then gather a plan up of how I can make myself effective towards the team goal. Another thing is shape and build the team that will work with you. A lot of times when you start a new business, such as people that move forward to want to work into a business, a big influencer of mine, Max Maxwell, says himself, his team doesn't really realize how as a boss, he works for his employees. You constantly have to invest back into your team because they make you be who you are. Just to recap, the top 5 books that I recommend you definitely start to read is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Never Split the Difference, Us Against the World, Soar, You're in Charge, Now What? With coming into entrepreneurship, reading is so key because there's people who have these ideas in their head and they're putting it on paper for us to read, make it as a blueprint of where you're supposed to go in life. So definitely check out these books. There'll be another video coming soon. I definitely appreciate you guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, spread the word. Let's move forward and get my subscribers up and hopefully get this video to stretch out amongst a lot of people. I appreciate you. Peace.